Hello, ladies. This is Irva, and welcome to my channel. We do Women Empowerment Defying the Odds. And today I have a really special guest with me. I've met this lady. Actually, I'm gonna let her tell you a story. But I've seen her and said, "What on earth keeps her motivated?" So, Roseanne, please tell us your story. Tell us who you are.
Okay, I'm Roseanne. I currently live in Brampton. I'm originally from St. Catharines, the Niagara area. Lived in Toronto for 10 years. Worked in, actually, my entire career worked in financial services,
Oh,
in strategy and lately like marketing roles.
mhm.
And then I moved to Brampton when I got married to my husband, who's from
Oh,
the Brampton
congrats.
area. We've been there for, I've been there, well, he's been there longer, obviously, but I've been there for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've been married for 5 years. Almost 5 years. I shouldn't, yeah, he'll say, no,
Mhm.
no, it's 4.5, but it feels long. We've been together for 11 years. Actually met
Wow.
at, on the job. So
Wow.
he still works for that bank. So that's funny. So I've been in
Wow.
Brampton, and I guess the reason why how you met me was I walk every single day. Um, I would say probably about 2 hours.
Wow.
It's not because of the pandemic. I probably walk more because of the pandemic because there's no more time, like less time commute. Instead of commuting 2 hours, I can walk for
Mhm.
4 hours. But I've generally walked, I'm going to say for almost 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
Um, yeah, I remember I finished university. I'm that old. I finished
It doesn't
university.
show. It doesn't show.
When I finished university, actually I probably gained, I'm gonna say probably like the frosh, not 15 or probably like the university 30,
Mhm.
and was like motivated, okay, you know what, I'm gonna walk every day. And I remember that particular summer I was going on a big trip to visit family in the Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates. So I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna lose a little bit, try to lose weight. And I remember walking every day and it just kind of stuck.
Wow.
um, did I lose a lot? That I didn't probably lose the weight right away, but to be honest with you, I don't think that I walk primarily to lose weight anymore. I think it's more of a calming thing, things where I think
Mhm.
about how my days, what's happening in my day, what, in terms of, career moves, and it's actually, I enjoy it. It's kind of my
Mhm.
happy place for walking.
You
So
know
I would
what?
say that.
No, go ahead. Sorry. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, it's probably my happy place walking. Is it the only exercise I do? No, I actually do an hour-long bar workout every single day. No,
Wow.
5 days a week. I wouldn't say every single day. And that started when I was in Toronto because there was a bunch of bar studios. But the good thing about the pandemic is there's any in Brampton like or that I'm aware of.
Mhm.
But with the pandemic, it's probably not good for them, but there have been great online courses where I can
Yeah.
actually have the same do that as well. But yeah, no, I walk every day. I've walked in like starting in St. Catharines, had my own route there, a couple of routes there when I was working with my
Wow.
parents, and I was doing my master's and another undergraduate degree there, still trying to figure out what to do with my life. And then when I moved
Wow.
to Toronto 13 years ago, walked there. I actually walked primarily down because I just lived off of Yonge Street in Midtown, so I walked primarily down up
Mm.
and down Yonge, which was really entertaining.
It is. There's lots to see along Young, and it's
Yeah,
always active, right?
yeah, I know. And so it was funny, like making that adjustment, walking in Brampton, which is less people. Um, the only confrontations that I have now are with geese, where I actually fell down and got attacked by one once. So
Okay, okay.
yeah,
So you gotta tell us about that. But before you tell us, you know what? Wow. So you have been walking for a while. I'm
yeah.
quite amazed. And I think what amazed me the most, because every morning I would drop the children to school and I would see you walking. And some days it was cold and I would see you walking. And there's a certain time. So if I'm at that time, I would catch you walking. So I'm like, wow, what keeps this girl walking every day? It's winter. And the day I met you, actually, wasn't that warm either. And you were walking.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I saw you and I'm like, okay, I need to hear her story. Is it weight loss? Is it, just a healthy choice now? Or is it your time to think? But you said a few things there. You said it started primarily as weight loss, probably, but now it became part of your lifestyle and it gives
Yeah.
you time to reflect and those sort of stuff. And I find, ladies, for me too, Yeah, walking and stuff give you a lot of time to yourself, to reflect, you play your music. I think the morning I caught you, you had your music on too, because I'm like, you're
Yeah.
probably saying, the strange lady, I parked my car right across the street. I'm like, I have a YouTube channel. Can you go? So, but I like the fact that, you keep doing it, even if you move sceneries, because St. Catherine is very different from Toronto.
Yeah, it's funny. That's the thing, the different sceneries along
Yeah,
the
so
way.
but what kept you not discouraged? Because I don't know if I want to walk up and down Yonge Street, as exercise.
Well, Yonge Street. Well, the funny thing is my sister, for a time, actually lived right next to me. She still actually lives in Toronto, and even she would come and meet me. So I had a walking partner for a while.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I had a walking partner for a while, but most of the time I'd actually be walking out because she'd have her a different schedule. So walking down Yonge is actually entertaining, because like where I was, I'd be walking down up, and like it was like up and down. So you'd see different things every single day. Like I'd see minor Canadian celebrities too. So now, like I used to see, what did I see? Like, I don't know if you watch Schitt's Creek, but I think at the time the Dan Levy used to be an MTV host. So I used to see him all the time when it actually first started going into work. And then I would see Dwayne Casey, the Raptors' former head coach, and his family.
Oh, wow.
Regularly as well. But now I see geese. So those are, and actually what I actually love, so people who I'm friends with Instagram probably laugh at this, but are the bunnies that are in the area. So I see a lot of animals. So that's what I now. But unfortunately, on the flip side of that, you see a lot of roadkill as well, which I don't like.
Okay, you can't have it all clearly, right?
Yeah.
So, but I guess Brampton is kind of similar to what you started with in St. Catharines, a little bit in terms of trails.
A little bit different in the sense that St. Catharines sort of grew up. Like my parents owned a convenience store downtown, and I just lived literally pretty much lived downtown as well. So I'd be walking in downtown St. Catharines, but I think there's probably more traffic that you would see within Brampton. So actually Brampton, I would say, is more open space. And I actually do like to walk, but a lot of times it's like for me to listen to my music as well, which is also an important part of my life. And sometimes, like I find that I don't really blast it as much at home, so I kind of listen to it as well.
Yeah, so it's your time. Okay, I'm gonna bring up not Tim Hortons, Starbucks, because at first sometimes I see you with the Starbucks, and first I thought, is she motivated to walk to Starbucks? Is that why she goes? Does she? So tell me about the Starbucks walk. Was it first, let me walk to Starbucks, or it became, I'm gonna walk this route. Oh, there's a Starbucks.
Well, Starbucks actually, I think it opened a year after I joined. So I used to live where I was living off of Yonge, there was a Starbucks here, a Starbucks there, everywhere. So it kind of felt like a little bit like my old home, having when it came out there. So that was kind of nice to have there. But the funny thing is I think Starbucks is actually, they closed up a lot of stores. So my old Starbucks has been closed. I think they're focusing in on the suburban drive-through location. So now I feel like that Starbucks is a suburban thing. But I go there, and it's actually kind of nice to go in and see the staff there who know what I like. And they actually used to, before I used to use I didn't use the app. They would have it ready. They'd know, they'd see, oh, she wants this, and then sometimes they'd change the milk, and they'd be like, no. But it's actually nice to have people that kind of know your name as well, which other than doing it on the app, they actually genuinely know my name, I think, now.
So I'm going to ask you then, since you're walking, for health reasons, what do you get at Starbucks?
I get so in the winter, I get a matcha green tea latte with, and I find it, I don't know, I find it's like a good, not really a dessert. It's not really a dessert drink. I just find it kind of, I don't know. I like it. I'm not really a big coffee drinker. I'm not a coffee drinker at all, to be honest with you.
Well, that's good. I used to be a coffee drinker, but coffee is awful and I shouldn't be drinking it, so I stopped. But I drink a lot of green tea, and besides the fact that it's really pricey, I do get the Starbucks green tea latte. What I do though, I take mine with coconut milk because I feel like it's healthier. However, I realized I was getting addicted to it, and it's not that healthy. it packs on a lot of weight. So I had to take a break from the matcha green tea latte. But guys, that's a really good tea. Every person I've met and introduced them to Starbucks, so say let's go to Starbucks, I always say, do you want to try the green tea latte? The matcha. So so I'm gonna ask you, on a cold day, because I've seen you some days, I'm like, wow, she really, because you listen, I've run in the winter in the same area, and it's different.
Yeah.
For me, when I run in the winter, once I get out, I'm freezing to death. That's my fastest run. I would
Mhm.
speed the 10 minutes around the loop, but you're walking. So what wakes you up at 8 o'clock on Monday
Yeah.
morning, and you're like, oh God, it's -10, but I'm gonna walk. What gets you?
-10 is my threshold, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So, but -10. But that being said, it's not as bad as you think walking in that, as long as there's no wind or the sun's out. So I find I've done I've had -4, I've walked -15 where there was no wind and the sun was out, and that was fine. That's actually better than 2 degrees and wind.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it depends on, I always take a look at it. It's got to be like that bone chilling, like -30, where I don't go out, to be honest with you. And that being said, in the winter, I actually find the winter walks sometimes easier than in the middle of July, where it's or not -30, where it's like
Plus
25
30.
degrees in
Yeah.
the morning. Yeah. And then you're like, I'm parched, I need water. I feel like, so yeah. So that, I think maybe I've built that tolerance over the years, but generally I look at the temperatures and I'm like, I'll do it. And actually this past year, I think maybe missed a couple of walks.
So wait,
yeah,
so for my listeners who are there, because I have some international viewers,
okay.
when she says -10, she's talking about temperatures in your freezer, okay, guys? So -10 is your threshold. That is very cold still to me to walk for. How long do you walk for? How many minutes?
Generally, I'm gonna say an hour at the minimum, but usually it's about an hour and a half, an hour 40 minutes.
Wow. Okay. So I think yes, I think your body got used to.
Yeah.
I don't think I can walk. I would run for 20 minutes in the winter, but I don't think I can manage it mentally. So you're gonna tell us a little about getting over those thresholds and those barriers in your mind, because I'm sure when you started you had some barriers or reservations, but how do you get over that to say, I'm gonna get up this morning, I'm gonna do this every day, I'm gonna walk an hour and a half every day, most days?
I honestly think it's become like a force of habit. Like, I know some people don't take a shower every day, but it's like that to me. Like taking a shower every day, just brushing your teeth every day. It's like, okay, I gotta walk. That's my way to calm down. And yeah, it's one of those things primarily I would say it probably keeps me in shape. But I don't think I think honestly I probably would lose more weight if I ate healthier and probably had less green tea lattes, to be honest with you.
Less of the latte for sure. So I think what you're saying though is part of your routine. It's become part of you. So it's not about weight loss, it's about health, and it becomes you get your time spend time with yourself.
Yeah. And then you can sort of feel like also, like, there are some walks where, in the past where I felt like, some anxiety a little bit. So, that kind of tells me if I'm feeling that, like, something's not right in other areas. So I kind of just sort of think, so it's kind of like almost like a check for me, like a mental check for me as well. Like, how are things going? Yeah.
So that is very good. And I like the fact that you said, even days when you feel anxiety and stuff, just doing this walk soothes you and calms you. And I guess you plug your music in that you won't pump at home, and you're listening to as loud as you can. So, but I have to say though, actually, let me ask you first, because I know, before I started recording, you said in COVID. So because you were working from home now, do you find that you increased the amount of the distance or the time you walk, or?
For sure, yes.
Because before you worked downtown, right? So you drove.
So we drove, take the GO train like halfway, and then it's other than like the walking I would get would be from the Union Station to the office.
Although that's a long walk.
I would do,
that is a long walk in Stilettos, the Union Station. So you get a lot of steps in there too, but
you do, and then back and forth. But then also like going to go pick up lunch, or what I would do to try to get some steps during the day. I don't wear a Fitbit either. So I used to, but now I generally know what my steps are. So I can generally tell you if I'm with the 10,000
So how many
walker.
steps do you generally do? How many steps do you do?
I'm gonna say now probably about 15,000 a day, 15 to 20,000 a day.
Wow. Okay, that
But
is good.
generally, when I was working, I would try to hit the 10,000. So I would probably go back to a Fitbit if I was back in the office, just to sort of keep that check. Where I would go for a walk is I would actually probably take an afternoon break and walk to the Eaton Center and back. I would sometimes shop, well, I wouldn't shop, not that often. And then so I'd see fake Canadian geese there, which kind of remind me of Brampton, and then walk. So that was like, so that would take me at about so by the time I got home with that walk and then walking through, it was about 7,000 steps. So what I'd probably do is, we actually do have a treadmill, but I don't like it. Like, I mean, I'll use it if I have to.
Wow.
So I'd probably use that to just hit the 10,000. And then we also have an elliptical, which I would use to hit the 10,000 or do something else to sort of hit that mark. But now I don't even worry about it because I've got those walks during the day.
Yeah, you're so used to. But so what happens now? So, and ladies, I want to put it out there. See, COVID is not, I mean, this is life as it is now, but you don't have to stop your workout routine. You don't have to stop your healthy routine. You can start a healthy routine. You know, Roseanne's not even using the treadmill, right? She knows her steps now. She knows an hour and a half gives her 15 to 20,000 steps, and she still gets her latte because that's something she enjoys. So you can incorporate, you know, a nice route with things that you enjoy. So yes, if you know it's really hard probably to take your steps, lady, or get your morning running, run along, you know, Starbucks, Tim Hortons, grab yourself your tea there and run back or walk back with it. And, you know, and I know you had told me before too, you make walking part of, you know, your life. Basically, you walk to the store, you'd walk. So there's simple little things we can do, ladies. You don't have to run for hours on the treadmill. Just make it part of your life. And as you can see with Roseanne, 20 years after, she's still walking for 2 hours, an hour and a half for 2 hours. Do you want to share anything else? If somebody came, met you across the street again and say, you know, I really want to start this, what would you tell them? But I find it hard. It's hard to wake up in the mornings. What do you?
I think you almost have to schedule it in, like almost like, okay, like book the time to do it, like just like. And then I would say, like honestly, I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that it takes 6 months to, you know, form a habit and and I would say, you know what, maybe give that time, like 6 months. Okay, whether it be exercising for an hour or I don't know, weight training or what have you, just sort of build it into your schedule to make it part of your routine. Eventually, I think it's something that will become you. And even if you kind of give up on it, maybe it's not the right thing for you. But I would just say, like, honestly, keep at it, schedule it in, you know, just make that goal, like, you know, do that goal every single, like, make sure you hit your goal every single day. And I think that it becomes something where you don't even, it becomes routine habit. Like, that's what I would think.
I like that, actually. So for the people, like, you know, I'm one of those sometimes where it's harder to get into things. Write it down, schedule it, and make goals, right? And try to hit those goals every day. You probably wouldn't hit 20,000 steps, guys, in your first walk, you know? I think I did like 18,000 steps 2 years ago, and that's because I went to Washington, D.C., and we were at the White House, and we were walking a lot. And I was so excited when I hit those steps, right? But I'm not really a walker. But I like the fact that COVID did not prevent you from staying healthy or doing the things that you really like. Last year too, I found myself, I think every trail between here and Orangeville, I started discovering them because I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go walk. One day we walked for 7 hours. I didn't even realize that. We walked for the whole day. We did Fox of the Credits. We literally walked, you know, with I have 2 kids. Yeah, so, but it was fun. You know, I mean, we were tired, we stopped and stuff, but it wasn't, you know, so what I'm trying to say, ladies, is make it enjoyable for you. You're being healthy doesn't mean you have to run for hours on the treadmill. You can get out and do something. And as Rosa said, even in the winter, it's not the worst. It's not bad if the wind's not blowing, or dress appropriately. I'm gonna ask you, are you one of those people? Because I don't think I see you with gears. I don't see you with your ski mask, and I've never.
No, my pink toque. I don't know. Yeah. For turquoise toque. I have actually like just the what is it, the down, I can't remember what it's called, but like the black down,
Yeah,
whatever,
the
it's like
zip,
feather filled.
yeah,
It's
the
really
winter.
light, but it keeps me warm. And then just like regular sweatpants. And then the shoes that I use, it's called the Hedgehog by Mountain Co-op. I can't remember, but it's a
Oh yeah, I know Mount, yeah,
like
Mountain Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's I would say it's like I'm trying to think of the word, but it's like more of a hiking shoe. I use that because
Oh,
I
okay,
feel
so
it keeps
it's,
my
yeah, keep you
feet warm as
warm.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it properly, so you suggest to someone then maybe get something to at least keep your food warm? And that's what, see, for me,
Yeah.
for running, that's why I must run, because I don't have those gears. I run with the running shoes. So yes, it does get quite cold on the toe when the breeze, especially if you have those running shoes with little holes at the top. So once I hit outside, I have to run.
Yeah.
But ladies and men, whoever's listening, get yourself some proper shoes. Just get out and be active, and don't let winter stop you. You don't have to. And if you're downtown, you can find scenic things. She's seen Canadian celebrities. Now she's seen Canadian geese. It's all celebrities, right? Geese, humans, it's all celebrities. Roseanne, anything else you want to share with anybody or views out there? Anything interesting? Anything about?
Oh, well, I'll tell you actually a funny story. So I had another woman stop me in her car a couple of weeks back. But this is funny. She comes up to me. She's like, I'm walking, and actually the funny thing was I was actually cutting that walk short because I felt a migraine coming on. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, I better go home because I don't want to have like full aura. And then like, so we're walking, and she stopped me and she's like, hey, how much weight did you lose? I'm like, what are you talking? Like, what? Like, how much weight did you lose? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I see you walking every day when I'm taking my kids in, and I see you walking here or there. And I'm like, oh, she's like, really, you lost a lot of weight. Your bum used to be so big. And I was like, so I don't know. I like, and it's funny, I was telling my husband this, and he's like, oh, I don't think it's gotten any smaller, to be honest with you. Maybe a little bit, but you probably maybe within the last year. But maybe
people are watching. People are seeing you, see, and they're noticing things clearly. So you see you out there doing your little walk, and we're seeing you because every morning I'm like, wow, it's cold, and I'm like, why is this girl outside walking? But I can't believe she said you lost weight. But thank you. That is very funny. I'm sorry. Thank you thank you a lot. Thanks a lot for sharing your story.
No, thank you.
I really wanted to know what motivates you, and viewers. Honestly, she made some good points. Just do it. You could have started probably for the weight loss, but it's a nice, healthy lifestyle. Just do something. Stay active. If you have a treadmill, use it. Like Roseanne, you can walk. Find a good route. Find a hiking trail. Pass by your favorite store. Those guys, the construction guys on the side. I used to run last year, and there were guys just by your park, Ziadula, they were fixing the little sidewalk there. Okay. And every morning I pass, they would tell me hello and say that they saw me yesterday. So that's kind of a motivation. Like, oh, those guys are waiting, So guys, whatever it takes. I'm not saying you need to do it because the construction guys are sitting there, but whatever it takes, get out and do something active. COVID is not an excuse. We're home now. A lot of us working. Do something. And maybe in 20 years, you'll share your story with us like Roseanne. Don't stop, Roseanne. I bet you wouldn't. But I really want to thank you. Thank you for this. I know a strange lady just stop and say, would you like to be on my YouTube channel? I see you walking every day. But I really am happy that you shared that story. That just shows it's really simple, and it's nothing elaborate or anything like that. So I appreciate that. All right. Thank you. So guys, once again, thanks Roseanne for her story. Remember to subscribe, to like, to share. And if you have an interesting story that you want to share and motivate someone, please send it my way, Irva at We Do. Thank you.